Hey Saber fans, got another Saber reveal for you today. An install I'm 100% satisfied with now. Korbanth ls6 and Hero config. I used all the stock electronics for the control box, so the control box actually acts as one, the blinkies, so main switches colors and auxiliary changes function. So that blinks 6 times, then it goes to the next color. Press it again, it's on all the time. Press it again, it's off. So this has a Goth 3 Designs chassis with a crystal chamber in the gullwing. Go ahead and give you a nice look at that. So we got steel for the overall size of it, and then brass for the extra piece on the side there. And it has a 1.3mm recharge port and a lovely kill switch. And of course I had to have blinkies. You gotta have the scrolling blinkies. Like I said, this works as switches and for the control box. So, red, green, roll blue LED. Color changing on the fly. Sporting the Prizm. You can see the LEDs down there are going nuts as I change colors. And of course the lit up crystal chamber. Kind of on an orange right now. Let's see. There's a good red. There's a beautiful red. Oh. So one thing to whoever receives this, it's been mentioned in other videos on this particular Saber, do not undo that at all. Like, pull it up, it's gonna mess with the wires. Pull it back down, it's gonna mess on the wires. So that needs to stay completely static 100%. Do not ever reveal that, or you're probably going to rip some wires off the board, and whoever, if this was mine to sell, I would specify that as I am not accountable for that. Like, that would be user error, not manufacturer error. So SD card access, undo that set screw. SD card access right there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's there. It's a total pain in the butt to get to, but that's the only access point whatsoever for this particular Saber. And then tighten it up, just loosen it just a tad. It should work just fine. And I tried to make this to where you never have to mess with the batteries inside unless they die. Then you'll have to mess with it. If that's the case, I'll just show you the functioning. Just pop it off, straight off, no tilting, no nothing. You have your switch where you can turn off the LEDs, which I don't see any reason to do that. You have your batteries. Those should last a very long time though. But I pretty much coated damn near the entire board except for the LEDs in liquid tape. And of course some actual electrical tape on the contact right there. But you see it tries to give you issues whenever you go to put it back down. It tries to short out. But it's solid. I'm 100% satisfied with it. To whoever receives it, blade retention, if you're not aware, have to hold on to that bottom silver spot right where my finger is. Undo that. You don't want to undo this part. Start messing with wires. And there are 2 set screws on both sides. Of course they were tightened up because that's how they're going to be when they're shipped. It's a bit of a procedure. So Put that emitter piece right there. Sink in the blade. Tighten the set screws. Yeah, feel like you're in operation. At least I do. Slide it back down, screw it on. Or you can always, you know, slide this little emitter piece all the way down the tube, but this is just how I do it. But you see whenever you smack it, the gullwing wants to come loose. A lot of times whenever you smack it, even though it has neodymium magnets in it, it's still not, you know, 100%. There's that lovely Luke green. Dialed in the sensitivity pretty well on it. You can only do so much. But it's very responsive to swings, very responsive to clashes, force effects are solid. It's a fantastic saber overall if you're not installing it. I'll put it that way. If you're not installing it, it's a great saber. If you buy it outright, you're like, holy crap, I just spent so much money for this. But once you get it, it's freaking awesome. Me personally, I would love to have something like this, but for what I would want with it, I would end up going elsewhere for a Luke. Granted, I mean, the powder coating on it's immaculate. I mean, there are no bubbles, no issues whatsoever. Yeah, whoever gets this, I hope you enjoy it. It's a beauty. And it was a lot of fun installing it. The clamp card is held in place with some double-sided foam tape. So that puppy's not going anywhere unless you really put some effort in it. The tape's about right there, roughly. And, you know, push it up on there and it's secure. So the only access you'll have to the inside of the control box is to take it off completely. Because it's freaking sliding everywhere, you know, all over the place. But yeah, that is my Saber reveal of the ls6 in Hero config with a Goth 3 Designs chassis, 3200 milliamp Panasonic 10 amp high drain battery. I already mentioned the LED. It's got a 20 millimeter bass speaker, and you can always look at it here. There's like no functionality with having the pommel off with this Saber though. It's kind of like, ooh, I can see stuff. You can kind of see the cutout a little bit for the SD card access, but it is what it is. One of my biggest gripes with this Saber, I've done one in V2 config, I've done one in Hero config. My biggest gripe is the fact that the pommel looks different than this. So I'm assuming this is aluminum and that's stainless steel, and it's like, ugh. You can just see it. It's just so obvious. But it's an awesome Saber. Looking forward to possibly doing another one day. And yeah, until the next time, Saber fans, may the force be with you always, and I hope you enjoyed.